Hello and welcome back to Ending Superman's Life, episode number 236. As always, I am Engineer John. Today on the show, we have our regular host, Supreme Leader, and Mr. Nefario, as well as our new regular host, Jeff. It's a very special episode, and we think you're really going to enjoy it. Remember to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or wherever you find us, and please leave a review. It really helps us out. If you want to get in touch, search Ending Superman's Life on Facebook, and you can like our page there. We are at Ending Superman on Twitter, Ending Superman's Life on Instagram, and you can email us directly at endingsupermanslife@gmail.com. Also, Jeff is PartyTimeJeff68 on Twitter and PartyTimeJeff67 on Instagram. Now, please enjoy episode 236 of Ending Superman's Life. And as always, fuck you, Superman.
Gentlemen, we've gathered for a singular purpose. With the combined efforts of myself, Supreme Leader,
Mr. Nefario, and
Jeffrey,
we shall endeavor to kill Superman. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Ending Superman's Life. Superman is out there somewhere, and we're going to kill him. You hear me, Superman? Like the episodes of this podcast, your days are numbered, Superman. Enjoy them while you can. You may have thrown our colleague into the sun, but it is you who will burn. Things are in motion, Superman. Things your primitive Kryptonian mind cannot comprehend. And soon, the walls of your reality will begin to melt. Your steel flesh will bubble and blister. Your bloated corpse will orbit the earth, a mockery of what it once was. And the S on your shield will take on a new meaning as I, Supreme Leader, take my rightful place as master of this planet. Steel yourself, Superman! Ask not for whom the giant kryptonite-breathing Gila monster told, Superman! It tolls for you! Oh, Jeff, did you get that email I sent you?
yeah, about the street sweeping?
Yeah, they changed the days.
Yeah, thank you.
And
I've checked every time I park anyways. I look at the signs. I can't afford any more tickets.
Yeah, right. No, I figured. I just, because, I fly a blimp here, and so it doesn't really apply to me, but I figured,
Yeah, and I really appreciate it that, they don't sweep the skies or anything.
They don't
That
very
makes sense.
frequently sweep the skies, no, so it just hovers. I put it in neutral, and it just let it kind of.
it's terribly convenient.
It sounds, yeah. How did you get here?
Oh, I'm dimensional traveler, what can I say?
He also has that van. I don't know if you've seen it. It's got
Oh,
what
My
is it-
lead-lined,
Yeah.
steel-plated van.
yeah. That sort of like digs up the road wherever you go. You can
Yeah.
tell wherever it's been.
Well, it's tough because tire treads,
Yeah,
most people have rubber, whereas
Right.
I have treads.
like a tank.
Like,
Really
Well,
chews
Well,
up the road.
it transforms.
they were
so-
actually stolen from a half-track, not a tank. Interesting fact. Half-tracks are much easier to steal than tanks.
I'm not sure I even know what a half track is.
Well, that's got some tank treads on the back, and then it's got some tires in the front.
I've seen pictures of those. I always assumed they were like some sort of snowmobile.
They work very well in snow.
Oh, okay. Great.
all-terrain.
Every time I go home for the holidays back to Evanston, it's, bring the tank treads, make sure the
Yeah.
tank treads are on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, mountain passes, like, you can't go by unless you've got chains or tank treads.
Definitely can't. And I'll tell you, after I really messed up the sewage system in Evanston from the drill,
From chewing it up.
that was about 3 years ago, just one little miscalculation. You don't read when the city is going to update their sewage lines, and all of a sudden, there's shit everywhere.
Oh,
Everywhere.
Human fecal matter.
Especially on the drill. It took my henchmen days.
Yeah, they were not. Henchmen don't like dealing with feces, but I guess none of us do really.
no, it's the worst part of the job.
Sure is.
I imagine.
Sure is.
It's kind of a shit job, though, isn't it? It's not.
Oh, I get it.
I see what
Pretty
you
funny.
did there. That was good.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we move it along? Now, have any of you killed Superman this week? I personally have not, but I've been dealing with some other personal stuff.
Sure.
Do you not want to go into it on air? We don't have to, but
Well, custody is a tough thing.
oh,
It's
more of
tough
that.
thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, still.
God,
I had to prove that my child's safety locks inside the vault and inside the dungeon, we're up to code.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Is her lawyer being like a total dick?
A little bit of a dick. I can't kill him yet,
Yeah.
but let's just say,
well, that's not going to look good for you, right? If you
if I kill the
if you
lawyer,
murder
then
the
Right.
attorney,
Yes, no, it doesn't. That's a good point. So,
you're trying to impress a judge,
so afterwards,
Exactly.
and so you got to be on best behavior.
I gotta
get
tell
the
you, those
kid.
social services people, delightful,
Oh, that's good.
but I do want to eat their faces.
in fairness, you want to eat most people's faces.
This is true.
It's not usually motivated by like anger. You're just like a face eater. You're just
But
like
I don't even want to bake it into some kind of a cupcake or anything like that.
You just raw.
Right, just
raw
raw.
face.
So that sounds like more like a
This
crime
is-
of passion
Sure, this is a
than
passion
definitely
face
than
eater.
a hobby,
Okay.
sort of a customary thing. I did not have that busy of a week. I can't even begin to imagine the stresses you're under, Mr. Nefario. But I also did not kill Superman.
That's also a negative on this end. Did not kill Superman. Actually spent a little time in Atlantis.
Atlanta?
No, at Atlantis.
The Lost City, have you ever been?
The undersea lost, like the fictional account.
Home of Aquaman?
Well, yeah, I mean Aquaman is their ruler there.
What?
Yeah, no. They've got like I'm pretty sure they've got a seat at the UN now. I think.
They do. You know, it's a non-constitutional monarchy.
Is it really? And they're allowed to, with that form of government, be a member of the UN? They don't have to.
Well,
Well,
they
it's
they
traditional.
fought for recognition because of all the pollution. In the they
They just
claim that
wanted a seat
they're.
at the table. It's reasonable.
Okay.
I mean, I think geographically Atlantis doesn't. I don't think you can claim the whole of the Earth's oceans as your territory, but they're trying to. So they need representation. They've got to. They got to play ball.
That's got to get interesting. And like, I know there's been a lot of problems in like the South China Sea.
Very much so, yeah. They're also trying to convince the UN that thinking sea mammals are registered voters.
Oh, so they're just trying to give like dolphins. I guess I don't know what the thinking sea mammals are. Is an otter a
Whales,
sea mammal?
sea otters.
Sea otters are the river otter not. But
Oh,
They've
is that
also-
it? Is it whales, dolphins, and sea otters?
Well, they've
not
also-
manatees.
They've
for
got
the most part, octopi.
Are they
they're-
mammals?
They're petitioning within the Atlantean government.
To be recognized as mammals.
Yeah,
They've
Wow.
also got like sea monsters, all sorts of sea creatures we've never documented because they're pretty down there, pretty deep down there.
it's interesting with the octopi because they don't think that their representation is going to come until they're recognized with the rest of the represented mammals.
I was
Oh
there.
my
I was
gosh.
trying to steal some technology that they have there. They can all breathe underwater, but I guess it's genetic.
Oh, that's not like a sciencey
No,
thing.
that's just
It's not like a
sort of-
scuba.
Right. So like I had a limited air supply while I was there. I had this whole evil plan to kill Superman, but it involved being able to breathe underwater, and I thought I could. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I went scuba diving once at Palm Beach.
Uh-huh.
It was like there's a guy on the beach you could like sort of rent it. It took sort of like a class kind of thing.
Sure.
It was super expensive, but my ex-girlfriend and I did it. It was fine. I don't know. Like I'm in no rush to go back and learn more about it.
So it's similar. Sure.
Sure, yeah. I have a lot of trouble with diving just because I make water steam when I touch it.
Oh yeah.
The whole being made out of fire thing. Sure, that's probably.
From what I
Doesn't work
remember
the way you'd like it to.
from Pokemon, you're probably a fire type and the ocean's a water type, and that puts you at a
We don't
disadvantage.
do well against each other,
No.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Salt water too. It's.
It opens up the pores, though. It really does.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's like you like those Dead Sea masks, the mud
Oh, yeah, yeah.
with all the salt and nutrients in that. I've heard about that. I haven't never tried that.
You know, back when I was interning after college, I helped make Dead Sea masks. They would just bring me to Jerusalem, drive me out,
Yeah.
put me in the Dead Sea, and then take all of the steam and the leavings.
Oh, okay. So it would evaporate away, and then you would
Exactly. We would turn it into soap. It was when I was...
soap.
Yeah, soap and different types of body washes, that sort of thing.
Oh my goodness, like scrubs and things to help you exfoliate.
Precisely,
Okay.
precisely.
I one thing I did accomplish, I was able to steal a I don't know if steal is the right word, capture a mermaid. And
I think it's like catch, right? It's like a fish.
catch,
You
sure.
catch a
Well,
fish.
that's the thing though, right? It's like half fish.
Did you lure it?
Which
Use a
half?
lure.
Yeah, no, I guess the bottom, excuse me. Well, it's like, you know me, how I like to fiddle around with unholy abominations against God, to kind of combine bits and parts of various creatures.
Yeah, there's like
That's
the
like-
hyena.
Well, I had nothing to do with, a radioactive man bit that hyena, and now he's Mr. Nefario's intern. But I like to fiddle with abominations. And I figured this is one that God already made. It's like a half fish, half person. And I wanted to study it.
And you think that's a
and see
creature
if
of God?
there's- a God, certainly. Whoever, I mean, God as, well, that's a whole nother conversation, but God as an idea.
You know, a lot of people, and that brings me something I've been thinking about a lot. People think Superman is kind of a god figure, right? He's sort of like an omnipotent.
They do have that feeling, yeah.
Yeah, he's not all knowing.
Well, he sort of lords it over us, doesn't he? He's always floating around.
Lord with a capital L.
Oh,
Lords it over
yes,
us.
True,
right.
true, yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think about that ever? Do you think maybe we're trying to defeat God?
So,
Sure. I mean, I've got no problem trying to murder God.
I guess I read Nietzsche. I never actually knew how to pronounce his name.
Oh, Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Friedrich.
God is dead.
Yep. Actually, that's funny that you mentioned that. That was one of the first things that Supreme Leader and I ever had in common.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I've actually been really wondering how you guys met.
Oh, that's an interesting story. Let's see, what was going? I was trying to take over the world, and
wasn't that the wave? The toxic wave?
right? Yes, it was a giant toxic tidal wave that I was using to hold the citizens of Metropolis hostage with.
Wait,
That was a good one.
you just had the wave parked like off the coast?
You don't remember that? It wasn't that long. It was what, 10 years ago?
Maybe 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
maybe
wave.
11.
There was
Yeah.
a giant toxic tidal wave.
I wasn't actually. I was out of town. I was living. Living
okay.
in Atlanta.
Well,
for,
I was using
college.
I was using 0-point energy to keep the tidal wave at bay.
You had to see it. Oh my gosh. It was moving, but it didn't look like it was going anywhere.
Like
yeah.
a glacier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sort of like a fluid glacier, I suppose.
Oh, wow.
Once it hit, it was going to render all of the citizens of Metropolis's flesh off their bones. And,
Whoa.
yeah, and it was like, bring me Superman, or else it was. It doesn't. The details are. It didn't work out.
Superman.
Superman.
Let me guess.
He,
Superman.
Worded it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Long story short, here comes this asshole.
And so
At
simultaneously,
the same time, right? I believe you
I
were
was-
harvesting the blood of the innocent to fuel
to
what you
fuel
called
my
a
fear,
fear engine. Yeah, the
fear engine. Yeah,
fear
that's
engine
what I
that was
had.
going to, you were going to use it to bore into the minds of the citizens so that you could feast on their nightmares, I think.
That's right. That's right. So I can see your expression, Jeff. So you know how I like to eat children.
Yeah, it's sort of this thing I am trying to rationalize in my head that we're sort of becoming friends and you do that. But yeah,
So-
I know that about you.
There aren't all that many children in the world. I mean, you turn 12, 13.
You're no longer a child, then you're like a teenager. And
Precisely.
that's too sort of
That's not really my
overripe.
thing.
Well, I think the children are sort of a delicacy in the fourth dimension. Human children, I guess. I don't.
But in your nightmares, you can still be a child.
Okay, so you trick people
Into
into
reverting to their childhood
childhood selves, and that
And
you'll
it was
still.
more of a
It doesn't-
spiritual snack for me.
Does
You know,
that-
I pop into the machine, put the helmet on.
Do you eat them in their dreams,
I
and
do,
then
yeah,
that
yeah,
ends
their
up
brains explode in real life. It's great.
Oh my goodness! And is that satisfying?
It's incredibly satisfying.
Very fucked up.
I'm having a hard time sort of. I mean, it must be some other understanding of sustenance.
So, did you ever see Scanners?
The Cronenberg movie, yeah.
It was just like that. It
Kind of
was-
like that. So I
So
would
this is
basically
all-
suck up their quantum essence, which caused a chain reaction in their brain.
But he didn't even get to this stage because he was just at the
I was
harvesting the
testing
blood
it.
part.
I got distracted watching the news. Supreme Leader was on the news I was watching.
So, long story short, Superman shuts that down as well, and they have
Real
this
dick move.
Did
I
you-
haven't even heard anybody yet.
Typical Superman, I bet he just sort of
Well,
played your
you'd-
two schemes against one another.
You'd murdered innocent people to harvest their blood. You just hadn't gotten to the the actual feeding on the nightmares.
Precisely my
Right.
point. I didn't even get to my
So you put in
actual
all
action.
the work and didn't actually get to reap any of the benefits.
Exactly, and that's my beef with
Well,
Superman
Super-
from the get-go.
That is frustrating.
Superman busted up the fear engine, something awful.
He's just
It's
like
prior restraint.
he really is a
Yeah.
cock block.
And a lot of the components of the fear engine you can't get, on Earth, really. They're difficult to come. Anyways, this is a long... The point is, Superman shut it all down, and they have this sort of supervillain paddy wagon they had us both on. And we started to talk, and like, oh, you Superman also? Yeah, me too. Superman. Oh, yeah, fucking Superman.
And when they sent us to Supervillain Supermax, our cells were right next to each other. We were in spitting distance.
Wow. So you guys met in the wagon and then happened to room, I guess, for lack of a better term, next to each other
Pretty much,
in
we were
Supervillain.
roomies until we broke out together on that one.
Oh, that's sweet, actually.
Yeah, they sent us to Bell Rev Penitentiary, which isn't honestly really equipped to handle fire monsters. Or, I have a psychic link with, telepathic link with my robot army, so I can get
There are no dimensional shields there.
none. They really need to work on that as well.
Honestly, I mean, I've only been to jail once, and it was sort of like a drunk take lockup thing, and I was stuck there until the next morning. So I don't know what any of these
You
things
didn't
you
have
guys are
anything in
talking
your
about.
utility belt, nothing.
Oh, I didn't.
No,
I had
like-
taken off my pants earlier in the night. That's actually how I ended up in the drunk tank.
Oh,
So
sure.
I didn't have
That'll do it,
any
yeah.
sort of belt.
And that's where you kept, like, your disintegration ray or something.
And Jeff,
Is it
clear
your
this up for
hands?
me. You have no cybernetic or organic armor, right, built into you.
No, I mean organic armor. I've got skin that sort of prevents, I guess,
Just
UV
your
rays of the
regular
sun
run-of-the-mill
from
epidermis,
hitting,
huh?
yeah, hitting my like internal organs. But really, for the most part, I mean, not even for the I'm a normal human man without any sort of. I mean, sometimes like a
If you
sweatshirt.
want some cybernetic armor, I just say the word. I'm happy to.
Do you have any extra laying? I don't even know what I would use it for. How heavy is it?
No, well, it'll be part of you, so it'll be.
Oh, it's like a
It kind of assists your musculature.
Is it like an
It's-
outpatient procedure, or is it like am I
Uh,
going to have to check into the
No,
hospital?
you're the hospital. You're not going
You're
to go to
not gonna
hospital.
go to
It's
hospital, no.
more of a laboratory, but I mean, we'll talk about that off the air. I'm just saying,
sure,
should you ever
Do you have any
want-
literature for me, like a pamphlet or something about this? And how
Uh,
expensive is it? I'm sort of in between insurance right now.
Oh no,
I'll tell you,
we're-
my intern will get you all the necessary paperwork, and we'll talk about payment, lots of payment plans.
Okay, that's. I mean, that's
he-
reasonable.
his intern will probably be drooling all over the paperwork. So
It's a fucking hyena.
It's very difficult to find.
Good help these days, and we can talk numbers later. It's not a big deal. But for now, let's go to the mailbag. Let's see. We've got an email here from villainslut_deathray@monolith.com. All right, so Villainslut writes, the subject is, how do I meet the right supervillain? Oh, this could get saucy.
Whoa. Okay, so they're looking to like
Hmm.
interesting.
And I guess it's a she.
Oh,
Writes, hey guys, long-time listener, R.I.P. Red Anks, you will be missed. Loving this Jeff guy, regular
Hey.
Jeff, not hostage Jeff, R.I.P. him too. I'll cut to the chase. I'm a 34-year-old female living above Atlantis.
aren't we all?
You were just in the neighborhood.
But aren't we all above? Like Atlantis is like miles beneath the sea.
technically, I guess, yeah.
It's it's a way for everybody to stay
So you're just saying
anonymous.
she's a
Level.
surface dweller, or is she on like an oil rig above it?
I think it's all possibilities are open here. She writes, and I'm a femville.
A what?
A woman who is interested in being the number one squeeze for a person of mass destruction. Do you guys have any advice for a gal who is looking for her malevolent mate? Thanks so much. Well, thank you, villain. Villain. That might be villain slut.
Oh, I see.
It's
I was
like
wondering
a-
what villain's lut. I was wondering what a lut was. Yeah, maybe
She's
she's just a.
not for villains.
Well, actually, I recently have been going through some sort of relationship issues myself. I'm
What kind of advice do you have for her?
Well, I was actually wondering maybe if you could just pass that email along to me, and I'll just write her back personally. Maybe she and I can meet for coffee one day, and like I'd be happy to talk her through this.
And that's probably I honestly, super villains, it needs to happen organically. I don't know that you want to fetishize someone who will, if you leave the toilet seat up or down or something, might melt your eyeballs out of you.
I mean, don't knock her preferences, don't kink shame her, because I may be coming into some cybernetic armor soon, so I'll really actually start, not only am I part of a supervillain podcast, which I think is enough to make me a supervillain, but I'll soon look at too with this cybernetic. I mean, I've just sort of got to. I'm doing the first research into it.
I'm not trying to shame the woman. There's no judgments here. Whatever you're in floats your boat is fine. I'm just saying it's a precarious.
So it is a boat she lives on. You said she's above
like
Atlantis.
She's on a boat, right?
It sounds like if it's hard to meet people, you might be in an area where there's just not a lot of people.
I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm getting a little hot and bothered about her email.
Did Villain Slut provide?
Maybe it just sounds exciting. I hadn't.
That's nice because I was worried about you, Jeff, getting over your ex, getting over this Michael Torrance guy.
Yeah, I mean it's as listeners know, my girlfriend kind of stormed out at me and started seeing another fella named Michael Torrance, which is fine.
Michael Torrance.
And but like I've been trying to process that, and I think I'm at the point where I need to find somebody new. And Villain Slut she sounds really well read. She sounds like she knows what she wants.
Her handle it's very appealing. I mean, it's got the death ray right in there after the underscore.
Yeah,
I do. I like a good death ray, and anyone who can appreciate a death ray, I always appreciate them as well. So, I wish you all the best of luck, Villain Slut.
I think we both do. Yeah. All three of us.
Yeah. And I'm gonna reach out to you personally, and feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram. It's PartyTimeJeff68 and 67 respectively. Couldn't find a matching handle on those sites. But yeah, I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna look you up on Instagram. Okay, let's see. Villains Slut underscores.
Okay, well,
also,
hello.
Go ahead.
Bikini shop.
There's that Henchman website.
Oh, of course, Hench Recruiter, and one of my very favorites. We'll get to that ad soon enough, but that might be a place to start for her.
She might be able, if she signs up as a potential henchman, then there might be some villains looking for henchmen. They meet her, sparks happen. I don't know.
It's just a better place to get access,
Yeah, sure.
To be a part of the game.
Mm-hmm. These pictures are pretty close up.
Oh no! Okay. Well. Jeff responds to Villain Slut. Let's go to our tweets of the week, huh?
Well, I don't know about that because it's sort of a red flag when there aren't any like full body images. But I can't be picky. I'm getting to the point where I'm not desperate, but we shouldn't be talking about this.
Once we kill Superman, I'm sure there's
going to be a lot of
windows will open for you.
True.
There's going to be a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, people will know Jeff.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
They're
by name.
And almost every email we get, people are big fans. So
that's great. I was really nervous.
I mean, she says
she mentions me by name.
Jeff guy.
My name.
And she hated the other Jeff guy.
She specified which Jeff. There's no mystery which Jeff she's talking about. It's not the corpse Jeff. That's dead.
And it's not the embryo Jeff. No.
Well,
sorry.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Nothing. He doesn't mean anything. But this That's Jeff nothing. Talking to us now is the one she was into. So.
Good. Yeah. I'm going to give it a shot.
All right, so let's check in with our tweets. At The Real Wally W says, turn yourselves in.
What?
Turn yourselves in. At PartyTimeJeff68, please see reason and dump these super losers. # lightning fast justice. Don't know what that's about.
Whoa.
Nice of them to shout you out.
Yeah, that's a...
Wally W at lightning fast justice. It's a stupid ass name.
Turn yourselves in. I think he must be talking to you two, I guess, specifically.
He's probably trying to appeal to what he might call your better instincts.
Oh, but my better instincts.
Frankly, I think that's insulting for him to try and judge your morality.
Yeah, guys, listen, and I've been getting a lot of personal messages about this too, about people sort of pleading with me to stop hanging out with a seedy crowd, as some people have called it. Listen, I feel better than I have in months. Okay, I'm finally seeing clear. I've got a group of people that listen, I enjoy hanging out with, that enjoy hanging out with me, and just trust me, that I've done my due diligence and I respect these guys, okay? And so I'll thank you to just keep listening and thank you for supporting the podcast. But these guys aren't, they're traditionally, they are bad guys. They're bad guys, but they're not bad guys.
Wally,
I guess that's from Wreck-It Ralph, isn't it?
Sounded
Bad guys who have to be
unfamiliar.
bad guys. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
But they're think of them as Wreck-It Ralphs, right? Is that they're good guys
If
but
you
bad
say so,
guys.
yeah.
I have to take your word for that one, Jeff. But Wally, just know that once I've taken over this planet and am its rightful master, you'll be on top of the list.
Yeah, Wally, I don't know what this lightning fast justice means, but there's nothing faster than a wildfire, and I am a straight up wildfire, and I'm gonna bake you into a cake.
We're coming for you, Wally. So,
All right, so our next tweet comes from at Blue Beetle writes, Red Angst was just round 1. Nefario, I'm coming for you. It's like I don't know what his obsession is with me.
Red Angst was right. He wasn't involved. Did Red Angst ever? Wait, this is the Blue Beetle, like the
It says
superhero
at
Blue Beetle.
It could be a fake account. It's not verified.
Oh, then it's just some prankster.
It must
Do
be.
they have an avatar, or they have one of those new
No,
little? It's
well-
not. They don't have the eggs anymore. They've got like little people.
Oh, is that right?
Default, things.
I actually haven't seen the eggs in a while. I was wondering.
Yeah, they've replaced them with little people sort of things. But is there an egg, or is there actually a profile picture there? Because that's usually how you know who's trolling.
It's just the Blue Beetle's emblem. No
so,
face.
okay.
Or
That little
might be a little
scarab
fanboy
thing.
or something like that.
Yeah, I bet that's nothing to worry about.
Well, I don't think the Blue Beetle was involved when Red Angst was thrown into the sun by Superman.
It makes me think that perhaps Blue Beetle is just looking for a little glory.
I think plus no one knows who the hell Blue Beetle. We know of him because we're supervillains and this is our business. But I don't think the average citizen of Metropolis or the world even
I really don't know who he
doesn't
is.
know. Like Superman, he's big. People know that guy. But Blue Beetle,
Is Blue Beetle another good guy?
yeah,
he a-
he's like a superhero, I guess.
Why do you need? Okay, think about that. You're in Metropolis, right?
Sure.
You've got literally Superman, the number one superhero. Why would you want to sort of make that your superhero city as well? Like
Some
you're
kind of
the B
diversity
team.
hire situation,
You're-
maybe.
I don't know if he's
You're-
even in Metropolis, but I feel like I think you're right. You're onto something there. That he just wants. He knows we've got a fan base. He's trying to get his name out there, I think.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
just jumping on the Superman bandwagon. Like, oh, look at me. I'm also in the same category as Superman, I think is what he's trying to do. And we're not falling for it, Blue Beetle.
Well, shout out
Yeah,
to Blue Beetle.
Frankly, Blue Beetle can lick my hot rocks.
Oh, shit.
Like Blue Beetle, I'd say that we were going to kill you, but I think that's what you want, is you just want to up your status, so we're not going to kill you.
Yeah.
We're going to kill Superman.
Definitely that, yeah.
Maybe there's sort of a junior villains league podcast that you can sort of write into, but we're
This is ending Superman's life.
we're
Right, no-
gunning for the top.
Not promoting Blue Beetle's ego. So
Nobody
it's a different podcast.
nobody plays
But it's
baseball.
a good point that we made. I think it was good for us to get that out there, that we are here to end Superman.
Very
Yeah.
specifically.
So,
Superman.
So I think it's a good time to shout out
Superman and Wally W.
Engineer John picking our randomized tweets, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, thanks, John.
No problem, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, so our last tweet randomly picked from our Twitter followers. This one's from a Miguel Torrens. And
Did you say Miguel like a Michael Torrance?
I don't know about that. What it does say is kidnapped, phone dying, it's dark and wet, please help, hashtag kidnapped, hashtag a fire demon did it, at ending Superman.
Guys,
No idea what that's about.
No.
Guys,
Miguel.
what the hell? How many guys? Honestly, all right. Like I said, I'm trying to process this breakup in a healthy way. Okay, I'm gonna write to Villain Slut. All right, I'm gonna go out, hopefully meet somebody. All right, I'm happy for my ex-girlfriend and that she's seeing somebody else and that she's found happiness. That's all I'm looking for myself too. All right, you guys gotta stop tracking down Michael Torrance's, guessing which one it is, and then torturing them, murdering them, holding them hostage. This is
It sounds
This-
like
this
there's
sounds
a
unfounded.
gentleman named Miguel is out there
What
and he
dungeons
needs
have
help.
Wi-Fi?
He's my dungeon. Well, yeah, I have Wi-Fi everywhere I go, but that sort of has to do with a little pocket. It's a smart computer mother box.
What?
Yeah.
It just guys, stop. If Miguel Torrance is still alive in one of your guys' torture dungeons, please free him immediately. All right. First of all, the Michael Torrance that is dating my ex-girlfriend does not go by Miguel, so this is not the right one. I appreciate that you guys are really trying to help me out, and like I said earlier, I like hanging out with you guys, but this is tough for me. That
Good
I
luck,
know
Miguel. Hang tough, buddy.
Wherever you are.
I'm
Miguel,
sure it'll
just
work
reach out to me and tweet to me. I'm going to try to figure out where
The
you are and
phone's
try to
definitely
free you.
got to be dead by now.
Sounds
but,
like somebody
but
out
it
there
seems like
has an axe to
somebody might
grind.
have released.
Guys, I'm this close to turning to Superman to ask him to free these Michael Torrances and like to help them.
Well, I mean, if you can find the guy, then good ups on you, because we're trying to kill him. So when you get a hold of him, just send us a text, and we'll be ready.
I'll probably just do what you guys did and just sort of find Lois Lane and hang out by her until Superman shows up. And then ask him, beg him.
I imagine she'll probably just have you arrested as I was stalking her.
Yeah, I mean, you are a host on a Supervillains podcast.
Well, I don't think she knows what he looks like, but I'm just saying
that's probably true,
she's a
I
reporter.
doubt she listens.
I mean, we get her all the time, but I feel like we're pretty well practiced at it. You're a noob, so.
Anyway, either way, just don't make me do that and just stop torturing Michael Torrances.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds
You
like
guys are just
someone
grinning at each other like
there
little idiots,
has
saying,
an axe
lying to my
grind
face.
with Michael Torrance, and if you are Michael Torrance, you should watch it. It just sounds like there's been some trouble. Someone seems
If you
to
are
have...
Michael Torrance, that's true. Watch it. Just try to hide, change your name, maybe. Michael, the one who's actually dating my ex-girlfriend, I'm so sorry. Just keep
We don't
hiding.
need to apologize to him. I mean, that's not
Fuck
necessary.
that guy.
I mean,
But all right. Well, that was some good tweets, some good mails. Any more?
Good. Yeah, I think we can wrap that up. Thank you all for the listener mail. Keep tweeting and gramming and emailing, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. We're gonna say that our follower of the week is Miguel Torrens. We'd like to say, Miguel, if you're out there, maybe
I hope
a
he's-
mistake
I
was
hope he is out
made
there.
and there was some identity issues, but we really think that you're great, so we're gonna send you some free swag from the show. We're gonna find you.
There you go, buddy.
what do you mean find him? You know exactly where he is. I'm sure of that. I'm sure you know exactly where he is. I bet you could toss him that T-shirt. You could get him a T-shirt and be back here in 4 minutes, I imagine.
Maybe 3. I mean, it's not important. It's not important anymore.
Are you saying he... All right, let's move on then.
But now it's time to pay the bills. Let's see who's sponsoring this podcast this week. We'll be right back with you. And today's episode is sponsored by Lead Apron. When I'm not podcasting or baking delicious treats with Unit 37, I've got to balance a busy and active life of villainy. I can never seem to make it out to the grocery store. But when I can, what is a fourth-dimensional fire monster supposed to cook for supper? Well, I got tired of the lines and the screaming bystanders and chose to subscribe to Lead Apron. Lead Apron makes it easy to cook well-balanced, nutritious meals for those of us with unique dietary needs in under an hour, regardless of your skills in the kitchen or at the periodic table. Just enter a few details about your dimension of origin and your biological proclivities, and Lead Apron does the rest. And you won't break the bank looking for hard-to-find aperitifs like Radion Puffs, Flame of Pytar, and a wide array of chemical compounds not found anywhere but Lead Apron. Use the offer code DIE to get your first 3 meals for free. Go to leadapron.com to subscribe today. Now, back to the episode. And we're back. Oh, thanks so much, guys. And remember, you got to try out Lead Apron. It's helped me out. I think it can help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Real quality product.
I mean, the prices are surprisingly affordable. And that's something that Jeff and I were talking about the other day. We were talking about the expense of supervillainy, and I was telling him, licensing deals and trust funds, that kind of stuff goes a long way. And I figured that you might want to weigh in on this, Supreme Leader. You have some firsthand experience with this.
Yeah, because I'm curious. I was talking to you, Mr. Nefario, about this because I struggle to pay rent in a studio apartment in a pretty seedy part of town. But you guys are sort of building these multi-dimensional, I don't even know, gizmos, that's cybernetic armor and whatnot. And how do you guys do that? Do you guys have some sort of like budgeting software, or like where does your like money come from?
Well,
I kidnapped most of the employees of an investment firm at one point. They gave me some really good advice.
Oh, okay. So you've just like been
I've got a
savvy
diversified
investor.
portfolio in several dimensions.
I hear diversifying is sort of the key.
It is
to sustain
absolutely
well.
key. You want to protect yourself in bull markets and in bear markets as well.
Okay. I mean, I don't even have any money to invest right now. I'm really living paycheck to paycheck, and even like less than that.
Well, I personally have a lot of different sort of revenue streams, and occasionally, just so we don't get rusty, we'll pull a heist or something. But I guess I would say the main bulk of the war chest is my great grandfather invented gravity, and so we've got a patent
That's
on
right.
that.
Wait.
in the
Were you
family.
saying
yeah?
that?
So,
Hold on. Like the fundamental force of like the universe, gravity?
Yeah,
One of the
yeah.
four majors, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's and so in that one, gravity gets used a lot, and so we've got a nice cushion.
Wait, we're gonna have to back. How did you? Is there even like a licensing of gravity? I use it all the time.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
exactly.
we all
I'm using
use
it
that,
right
yeah,
now.
for sure. Yeah.
We're all using gravity right
Well,
now.
I mean, I don't.
And
It's
how
like,
do you? How
do you
do
know how
You said
there
you're-
was a time where before bottled water, right?
Yeah.
Same deal.
Same. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That there was a time before bottled water.
Look, it's
And there was a time
complicated,
before
and then
gravity.
somebody bottled water, and then you pay
and
for
now
water.
you're paying for water. So
I suppose, but I recognize when I'm exchanging money for water. I don't know
Jeff,
if I've ever
it's-
paid
it's-
for gravity.
I don't know
And
that
that's
it's
the
gonna
beauty
make-
of gravity.
I
That's
don't
why
know that it's
his
very-
family is so very wealthy.
I don't know that it's very fascinating
You said
to
your-
use airtime, but well, it's
Your great grandfather. So this was like what 100 years ago.
it
He
has to
invented
do
this.
with like
It was,
with
it was
time
post Isaac
travel.
Newton, that's for sure.
Post Isaac, but 100 years ago. That's like post Civil War.
Sure, but like
Yeah.
So there wasn't gravity in the Civil War.
oh
Well,
no, there-
no.
So okay, it gets really
There was just like a worse force.
no.
you're-
So gravity's been here for a long time, but
Some
it
would
has
say since the beginning.
sure, but it has to do with time travel and really good lawyers and basically. Long story short, my family gets a nickel every time you drop something. So, pretty much it just keeps coming on in. Things get dropped all the time, and then now I am able to build a vast army of robots. So
Oh my God.
yeah.
So
just keep on
and
dropping.
does that
stuff.
come straight out of like my?
It-
How does my nickel? Let's say I'm gonna drop my phone right now. Okay.
Mhm.
So I just dropped my
Yeah,
phone.
thank you.
There's a one more nickel
That's another
in the Supreme
another drop
Leader
in the
family
old bucket
trust.
there.
What? But
But
how
it's-
did I? How did that
and that's-
leave from me?
if I'm
to-
being
Have you ever heard
honest.
of commodity futures?
yeah.
Investing in
Yeah, I've
in
heard of
futures.
it.
It's basically betting on what's going to happen.
And it's a big part of why I hate Superman, because he's just spitting on my family's invention.
By flying around.
He's
it.
just
Exactly.
he just
Oh.
right in our fucking face every time. He's just floating around like an asshole.
So when people, sometimes like people will protest a certain product, like they'll boycott Starbucks or they'll boycott Pepsi,
Yeah,
or maybe vice versa. They'll want to support those things.
right.
If people out there want to support ending Superman's life, they should just become clumsier and drop a bunch of things. Is that what we're
I
saying?
don't know how cognizant he is of that aspect of our relationship. Of that's his one
Yes,
of
he
the
is
things.
quite adept at catching things.
Well, whenever I
That's true. Like he catches people that are dropped off of buildings. Does that nickel not get to you if he saves the person from sort of actually making contact with
you'd have
pavement?
to talk to my family's lawyers. I don't know the specifics. Honestly, I don't
You're not that
ask
involved in the business.
I don't ask a
anymore.
lot of questions about it. I just let the money come in, So
Well, that's good work if you can get it. I guess.
definitely, and creating clones and wormholes and all it gets expensive.
Well, this is actually really interesting. I'm actually really glad that I'm learning a little bit more about you guys because you two are so buddy-buddy because you guys have been doing this podcast for more than 300 episodes.
200, actually. This is episode 236.
And I'm, the new guy. This is only my third episode. I wanted to get a chance to know you guys. And so I was going to ask you guys a couple questions. I looked up online about sort of like, not like interview questions, but just sort of getting to know you and like sort of at a core level. Because like I know you guys want to end Superman's life. I know you guys are supervillains. I know how you guys met now today. And like, I'm sorry I sort of slipped that in earlier. I've been sort of trying to slip in questions to get a little bit more. So I don't know if it's okay with you guys. I've got these questions from Inside the Actors Studio from James Lipton.
It's a delightful program.
It's quite lovely, yeah.
I thought maybe I could ask you guys some of those, and I would answer as well, let you guys get to know me.
So we're just going to steal their format. That works for me.
That's a very villainous thing you're doing, Jeff.
I mean, I don't know
I'm really enjoying that.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily like stealing. It's just sort of borrowing these questions.
The level of villainy is growing within
you. Got to
you,
start
and I like
somewhere.
that.
So
I'm really proud of you.
All right. So let's just start. The first question is, what is your favorite word? I can go first.
You go right ahead.
I think it's muffin. If you guys ever just sort of...
It's a fun one.
The M is so soft at the beginning, and then those two Fs.
I could go for a muffin.
Muffin. It's just...
Jerry, can you have 37 bring in some muffins?
Actually, 37's out at the grocery store at the moment.
Fine. Never mind. We'll do it after. Your muffin's good. It's a good one.
What's your guys' favorite word?
My favorite muffin? Probably...
Like
banana.
a blueberry lemon.
I like the banana nuts.
I like the tart ones.
All right. Well, that wasn't quite the question, but still illuminating into your personalities. What's your least favorite word?
Superman.
All right, yeah.
That makes sense, yeah. And, I think my favorite word is probably melt.
Melt. Oh, so
Melt.
that's your favorite, yeah.
Yeah, it's got that onomatopoeia.
It does. It feels like a
feels
melty
like
word.
Exactly.
Wow.
Least favorite word.
Melt is good.
Come back to me on that one, and I'm just not sure.
Least favorite word? Okay, so my least favorite word is probably load.
Load, like to
load up a truck.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I thought we just did least favorite words. It was
This is
super.
least. Yeah,
that was my
that
fault.
Is least.
That was my fault. I backtracked.
You backtracked to what?
Melt would being my
Melt is
favorite word, and
favorite.
then
Oh, favorite. I'm sorry. Right. Favorite word.
Word, not muffin. You answered muffin.
I answered favorite muffin. I was thinking about muffins. I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
My favorite muffin's probably blueberry.
Blueberries. It's a classic muffin.
I like to add the lemon in there.
Blueberry lemon. Yeah, that would be nice.
That tart is just delightful.
Just to contribute, my favorite word is disembowel.
It's a good one.
Disembowel. It's sort of a tricky word, right?
Yeah,
You've got a lot of different.
It's got some hills and valleys in there. Disembowel.
Yeah, it's grating a bit.
And
it's
it's
like
good
rough,
to-
like a sandpaper.
And it's flashy. That's what I like about it. And why I think it's your word. It's flashy about its iconic terribleness.
It strikes. Yeah, you tell someone, I'm going to disembowel you.
Guys, I'm going to change my least favorite word from load to disembowel. Actually, that is
Okay, sure.
not sitting well with me.
I think that's why I like it so
It's
much.
a wise choice.
It's interesting because you feel it in your bowels when you talk about it, and it's almost like when you see somebody get kicked in the nuts, you kind of get that tinge.
Sure.
Whenever I hear the word disembowel, I kind of feel my bowels leaving through my rectum.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
hopefully I'll be able to disembowel Superman. And
I think that's what we're all looking to do, yeah.
And in that moment, I'll have my favorite and least favorite words together.
This is good. I mean, I'm getting a slightly better picture, you guys.
Maybe I'll have a muffin afterwards.
I'm in for the muffin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Let's kill Superman.
If you
and
guys
then
ever
get
go
some
out for a
muffins.
muffin, call me.
Because
guys,
do you
never
want
say
me
no.
to call 37? I think I can just
If he's at the
tweet
grocery store.
at Robot 37 and just add an item to the list.
Yeah, tell him to pick up some blueberry muffins, maybe some blueberry lemon muffins if they've got
if they've got them.
Yeah.
Sure. What
That'd
if
be
they
great.
don't have them?
Well, I wouldn't mind just any blueberry muffin.
Yeah, just a regular blueberry muffin would be great. If they've got the crumble topping, those are
Crumble's
spectacular.
Tell them to get just a
Okay.
variety. If they've got, don't.
Like a variety pack?
We've got gravity money, so just go nuts on the muffins.
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Well,
I'll let them know.
Thanks
my
for that,
treat,
Supreme
yeah.
Leader.
Thanks so much.
That's
We
really
really appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been skipping a lot of meals lately.
I don't think I can focus on anything else till I get a muffin, honestly.
Well, this is good. I'm learning. I'm
Let's move
actually
on to the
getting
next
more of a
question,
sense.
then.
Yeah. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally? So what, I guess, really gets you going?
Enslaving humankind and killing Superman.
I like the transferal of souls from one dimension to the next.
He's big on that. That's true.
Okay. I was going to say I'll put on like an old jazz record, like an actual LP on like a turntable and everything.
Oh, okay, sure.
I think it really sort of
Old
opens up my
school.
mind spiritually. I'm trying to cut back on video games. I think the me of like a couple months ago would have said just sort of getting lost in a video game world. But I think that's wasn't actually turning me on. It was just sort of tricking myself into thinking I was living something else.
It's very interesting.
What turns you off?
Superman. I feel like my answers.
Yeah, these are all
kind of
pretty
but
on character for
I'm
you.
trying to be honest, and I just
I
fucking
think honesty
hate
is
that
important.
guy.
Yeah.
I think
And
honesty is what we're looking for
The
here.
idea of
This is all about getting to know each other.
Sure.
I thought this was maybe going to open up something like a deeper level of anything, but it seems like most of this is like Superman. The hatred of Superman is as deep as it gets.
it's all encompassing. I mean, I feel honestly one of the reasons I want to kill him is so I can just move past it, and just broaden my
Yeah.
horizon. Like once I take over the world, I
I
can
do
really
kind.
get
I
to
sometimes think about what I'm
the
going to do
core
after
of who I
we
am.
kill Superman.
Well,
Right.
you hear a lot of people, like a lot of like baby boomers, delaying retirement because they don't really know what they would do. So
Sure,
maybe
yeah.
that's sort of like because once you kill Superman,
What are
but
we?
your jobs aren't done then, right? That's just
No,
like
then
he's
I
standing
take
in the way
over
of
the world.
enslaving
Takes over the
Right.
world. I
yeah.
return to my fire dimension.
I could
having slain
maybe-
the son of Krypton. It's
I can
There are
convince my
levels.
ex-girlfriend to get back with me.
Sure.
Maybe start a family.
I mean, I can convince her easily. I'll be taking all the control of all of the planet.
This is a fun one. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I've always had an affinity for design and fashion. I thought it would be really great to be a milliner.
Like a female hat maker.
Wait, is that what that is?
Yeah, I believe they're like the ones who make like big sun hats, like for the Kentucky Derby. That's what a milliner is, I think.
Then what's a haberdasher?
Haberdasher is, I think, just a male's clothier.
Oh, then I want to be a haberdasher. Yeah.
Oh, you're like a stylist, kind
Yeah.
of like a Tim Gunn sort of fella.
Mr.
Like a gentleman's
Nefario's
gentleman.
haberdashery.
Oh yeah, that sounds nice. Like what a butler would be in like the old. Well, maybe not. You don't want to be a butler, do you?
No, is that what a gentleman's gentleman is?
I think so. I don't know.
Hmm.
But okay, you want to like sort of be a men's
I would-
clothier. That's fascinating. I thought you were going to say baker, honestly, because I know how much you like.
He sort of already
Preparing
does
for
Yeah,
that.
I kind of am an amateur baker.
Oh, so
And,
you're
I
already
feel
there.
like I felt the pressures, I felt the rewards.
You don't want to turn something that actually is your hobby into your profession.
No.
That's keen.
Yeah.
That is a good
I
point.
have a profession. I have hobbies. Keeping them separate
That's great. So even
for the most part. I mean,
right, like
there's a
some-
skin casserole every once in a while.
Yeah, it's.
I see.
I don't.
It crosses
I-
over the other way. I thought
I
you were
wouldn't
going to say like
recommend it.
sometimes you sell a cake, but no, you
Oh,
just
no,
meant
yeah.
sometimes your
No.
actual job seeps into your hobby. Okay.
Where
What can I
he
say?
skins
My
someone and made a
creativity is limited.
casserole.
I think by my interests.
Supreme Leader, it sounds like you've got quite the trust fund lined up. I don't know what you could literally do anything.
Well, I sort of. I wanted to cut grass, like like in Forrest Gump, when he's just on
wanna-
the tractor and he's just cutting the grass on
For the football team.
for the football team. That just looks so relaxing, and I keep telling myself I want to get around to that eventually, but I keep, I got to kill Superman, I got to take over the world. I don't know if there's any money in that, but I mean, I doubt it. But
It sounds like that's not an object for you.
no, at this point, money is not really what drives me.
Because that's
so-
why actually Forrest Gump starts mowing the grass is because he doesn't need the money anymore
Sure,
either because of,
he's got gravity
Right,
money too,
exactly.
with all the shrimps.
he's got shrimp and invested in Apple computers and he seems like he was doing pretty well.
In the book, he even went to the moon.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Very
Yeah.
accomplished
I heard in the book
guy.
he kind of dies alone and like impoverished again.
I didn't get that far, unfortunately.
Oh, I can't start a book without finishing it.
Anytime
I don't read very many books though.
anytime they go to the moon somewhere, it's never realistic, and so I always lose interest. Because I've been to the moon many times.
Yeah. He's
Gotta-
got the moon base.
Got a
It's-
base up there.
You've got
so-
a place up there?
Sure. You gotta go check on it from time
I'll
to
tell
time.
you, it's much easier, I think, when you've got gravity money. to put
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
where there is no gravity.
Where there's a little bit, right? Just
It's lower. It's much
Yeah.
lower.
so you actually wouldn't even get if people were to move to the moon.
If the revenue streams were coming from the moon, it wouldn't be as substantial.
What
Exactly,
profession
yeah.
would you not like to do? For me, it's work at the Kinko's that I currently work at. I would honestly like to do anything other than what I'm doing now. I'd get no creative satisfaction out of it. If I could somehow figure out a way to get podcasting to pay me my pay for my bills, sorry,
No problem. Yeah.
that would be just great. Because this is a blast.
I think we mentioned it before. We'll bring you in on a heist if you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, like,
we'll rob
you
a
know,
bank.
killing people.
You don't have to kill them yourselves, but people will get murdered
Definitely.
around you.
And as a
certainly.
result of your actions directly.
I'll think about it because honestly, sometimes I do feel like murdering people. at
Sometimes it
Kinko's.
just feels right, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I've never actually like come. I think I'm still a ways from like.
we could
we could-
rob the Kinko. I don't know that we'd get much, but
We could
rob
implode the
Kinko.
Honestly, we
Kinko's
never
with a
have-
quantum
we never have
tunneling
more
device.
than like $150 cash.
That
at
could
that
all.
place.
I mean,
Every little penny counts.
That's true.
Penny
I actually
saved.
$150 would go a long ways for me right now. That's how dire my straits are.
Sure.
Is that $150?
Well,
could
you can-
really.
you can probably take the bulk of the muffins home. I'd imagine I'll just have one or two.
That would be actually. That'd be
I might
great.
have about half a dozen, but it's only because I metabolize things at nearly 10,000 times the speed of a normal
The
human.
amount of calories you have to consume in order to keep that flame going, I can't imagine.
I'll tell you what, I was actually surprised with the fear engine.
Uh-huh.
I was actually surprised I didn't get caught sooner. I ate a lot of people to get all that blood.
All that blood to run the.
When I
fear engine.
tell you, it takes a long time.
I wouldn't want to be a politician because they have to do a lot of deceit and killing people, but it's all behind closed doors. You've got to watch
that's not
what
our
you say
style.
in the public's eye, and I
It's not our
don't.
style at all.
That would just be the worst if I'm trying to murder people and trying to deceive people, and I've got to do it with a smile and in front of cameras and watch what I say, and
That's some heavy stuff.
yeah, no, thank you.
Mr. Nefario,
Oh, thank you.
profession.
Something I wouldn't like to do. Marine biologist.
Really? That's fascinating. Because we were
Yeah.
just talking about Atlantis and sort of all the sea creatures.
You know,
think
I
I
tried
actually
it when
might
I
do-
was working in the kibbutz, and it just wasn't for me.
Is it all the?
I tried. I
It's
tried
like-
just taking care of a kilt bed.
It's more tedious than people think.
It's wildly tedious. There are so many notes you have to take.
Yeah. I think they see like SeaWorld and they think it's like, oh, that must be cool.
They think it's all
No,
dolphins.
it's all just like taking like temperature reads of like the ocean.
I
right?
didn't
It's just
interact
sort of
with
dull.
one dolphin.
That sounds horrible.
That's
yeah,
the
absolutely.
worst.
Like a false promise. Speaking of false promise, the last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Now this one I'll take. I would really, at the end of my days, I'm done hopping dimensions. I'm off the wagon. I've decided on a mortal coil to shove off from. When I get to those pearly gates, I just really like to hear that big guy say, great job with Malcolm. I'd like to hear him say that. That'd be really nice.
Malcolm. And who's Malcolm?
Oh yeah, Malcolm's my kiddo, my little guy.
Yeah,
the
the one-
ones I showed you the picture of.
That whole
We were talking about
whole
the custody
battle
battle.
he's
Yeah.
doing is
Oh, that
for his-
guy.
for
With
his
my
kid.
current, I guess, I don't know, ex-wife, wife. I don't know what to call.
Oh, okay. So it's like your stepson.
Oh no, Malcolm's like 100% mine. He's my biological little guy.
He that photo is
Yeah.
is
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
little confusing. 'cause
Yeah.
he's not.
okay. So yeah, he doesn't look very much like you.
Yeah, I'd say he takes after his mom a little bit. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like 100%.
100%. Yeah,
Like,
like it. It's. I mean, he's a
I mean,
boy,
obviously not 100 because it's not a little girl, but
right? But,
there's, like,
he's
no
he's
fire.
completely extinguished or not on fire.
That's true. He is not a flame.
Is that
Mm.
like a term?
Oh yeah,
That you guys
he's not,
use
like,
for the-
caught a flame. He doesn't.
A flame. Got
yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No. And that doesn't give you pause. Or
No, I
like-
mean he's still a chip off the old block. If I had to say.
like he eats dogs or whatever.
yeah.
No, he eats mostly human food, like
Human food, like
He-
food made out of
he likes mac
human?
and cheese
No.
and like hot dogs and stuff.
Oh, so like, yeah,
The stuff
children's
that regular
food.
Earth human beings would consume.
And
People,
you're
like people who aren't fire monsters.
I got
Definitely.
I
it.
think that's what I think Jeff's getting at.
Are these things the judges asked you also?
It's extremely difficult to convince a judge
But
of
she's,
anything when
you
you're a
know,
fire demon.
Yeah. Wow.
Other than that, you're a
There's
fire demon.
a lot of prejudice.
I bet-
goes with.
Just
I bet
a lot
the
of
lawyers-
misunderstanding.
Well, plus he's on record as eating a lot of children.
That's
so it's,
true.
So it's hard to convince them
Yeah.
to let me have custody of a child.
I can see that. I'd like, and I know you, and I know you're a good guy, but even still, knowing your record of consuming children,
It's not a bad bet to take the judge's side. I really think so. This is why the arbitration's
logic,
going on so
yeah.
long.
that's
like
tough.
if you're
I
using
bet
logic, it makes sense
there's
why
our
they're
her
against
lawyers
it.
Because
being total
her
dicks.
lawyers are saying, fool us once, shame on us. Fool us 7,382 times.
That's a lot of kids.
Well, I've been around for a bit.
Yeah.
They don't age like people from our dimension. And I know exactly what God would say. I've heard him say it. He'd be so we meet again.
Oh, you've met God.
Yeah, a couple of times, and
Dimensional travel allows for some really incredible trips.
Well, that sounds like an aggressive statement by him. So we meet again. Not like, hey, good to see you. It's so we meet again. Have you guys
we
had
don't
bad?
we don't get along.
Is it
very-
because your family invented a fundamental force of the universe? That
Well,
you
not
hadn't
that they
originally planned
invented
for?
it, is that they monetized it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I mean he says he invented it. My great grandfather.
It's really he
God
just-
says he invented it. So
found a way to make them pay for it.
I don't know. He's proven in a court of law that he invented it, and so that's why our family gets.
That's the bottled
money.
water thing that you guys were trying to explain to me. He
Exactly,
didn't invent
yeah.
bottled water. He didn't invent
Or
water. He just
legally, he
monetized
invented
it.
bottled water.
all right. I get, and that's much clearer now to me.
Yeah.
I think I would like God to say, "Hey Jeff, your dad's here, and he's proud of you, and so am I. And I dealt you a pretty tough hand, in the beginning. You didn't have it the easiest path, but you knocked it out of the park, pal. And come in here for a hug, and I validate your efforts, and I'm proud of you. And really, it really actually doesn't even have to be God. Like, honestly, if I just have anybody just say, like, you know what?
Like
I'm
that guy
proud
on the
of you.
beach in Contact.
I haven't seen Contact in a long time. Jodie Foster, right?
It's
like
her dad. The
It's
character's
like,
dad.
It's like an alien, but
But
he's
he says
taking
her
the form
dad.
of her father. And
Oh.
he's like,
Is that-
it's
a
cool.
metaphor.
I was too young to really understand
He's
what
like,
was going on
he's
in that
like,
movie.
it's cool, Jodie Foster. You're great.
That's amazing.
know.
I should watch Contact. That sounds like exactly what I need right now.
Real good rainy day picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, take home a basket of muffins, pop in a good comfort movie.
Yeah.
We've got the
And,
VHS in the back of the podcast studio.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's actually all I've got is a VHS player.
Well, there you go. Works
I
out
had it.
perfect.
Retro.
I was watching DVDs on my laptop, but then I got some peanut butter stuck in there, so now I can't get any discs.
Don't
in or
get
out.
me started on peanut butter clogging up the works. man.
I'm actually allergic to peanuts.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's. I mean,
I'll
that's
tell
a
you,
tough.
finding
but-
out that you're on fire and allergic to peanuts, not a fun day.
Well,
no.
it's
those. You happen to
it's-
find both those out. at the
sometimes-
same-
Oh no, sorry. While you're on fire, you
Well,
find out.
okay,
yeah.
I see.
well, it's interesting because he just gets a rash. It's not like lethal, but he's made of fire, so like a fire rash is like
I
really bad.
can't imagine
Blue
that burn.
flames. It looks odd. It hurts a lot.
But it smells like roasted peanuts, so it's a delight
That
to be
sounds
around
great.
him. Yeah.
Do you still like the smell of them? Like when you're walking down the street and there's
I
like
love
those
it. I
nut
love it. It
sellers?
just makes my throat itchy.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, be careful with that because that. I mean,
Peanuts
those
are everywhere. I
reactions
mean,
can
it's something we can't avoid. When
Get, do you
I
carry
was,
an EpiPen?
I would, but I melt most EpiPens.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What I
guys,
do
the-
have is
think
a direct injection of epinephrine in a lead-lined skewer.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's
So
sort of
as
like a
it melts into
homemade
my
EpiPen.
skin, it starts to activate.
Okay, good because I had a friend who had a couple really close scares, and we kept telling him, "Have an EpiPen on you," and he always was like, "No, it's fine." And really, some close calls. He's fine, but like some close calls, and I don't want that for you because we really were scared for him.
If there are any peanuts in the muffins, stick around. It'll be a fun show if he eats one.
Hey, wouldn't it be? I mean,
It'll be
when we
pretty
think
crazy.
about
Have you ever seen
Superman-
fireworks up close?
How close? I mean, I had a cousin who used to launch like
How
bottle
far away are
rockets.
we from each other? About 6 feet and one plexiglass
I've certainly
wall.
never been 6 feet away from a firework exploding.
It's pretty wild.
I have all 10 of my fingers here,
Pretty wild.
What were you saying about
Superman,
Superman?
so his sort of kryptonite thing, that's kind of like a peanut allergy.
It's similar, yes.
And wouldn't it be easy if he were just allergic to peanuts and we could just
Oh man,
If only we
slather
could
him
getting
with
our
peanut
You know,
butter?
a friend of mine, we'll go nameless, has been trying to splice kryptonite into foods for decades. It is difficult.
I bet. It's a rock.
Yeah.
But I
you
guess
can,
salt is in food, right?
You can mineralize it. You can turn it into a dust and cover it. Superman, he has a sense for it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
well,
if
he
you could
starts, to
just-
get, he starts to get sort of nauseous and queasy just being in proximity to it. So
Guys, I
it's-
really think we need to investigate this kryptonite stuff further if we're actually going to. And I really am serious about this. Like,
well, I've found a way
Superman.
to get a Gila monster to breathe kryptonite. It's sort
That's
of
not
a
not a bad
gaseous
idea. There's some potential
form. I'm
there.
working
Why
on
the
that.
Gila
It's a
monster?
giant Gila. Why not?
I mean, if you can get a 40-foot Gila monster that weighs 6 tons,
Yeah, I mean it's.
Can you?
I already had
40 feet?
If I already had the giant Gila monster.
That's
so
a
just-
dinosaur. That's a
getting it
4-story
to-
building.
yeah, it's.
well, you know, after Captain Lizard of the Lizard League was here, we started emailing back and forth.
The
He
guy's
told
got a
us
lot
about
of
his
lizards.
hookups in the
a lot of
Maldives.
lizard connections. That guy.
And, you know, the Maldives, they may be going underwater, but they have got the exotic pet trade like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
So-
think that's like a Atlantis thing? Do you think Atlantis is trying to annex the Maldives?
I wouldn't be surprised. Soon as that thing's underwater, they're going to claim it.
Atlanteans are. I mean, I don't want to be racist, but they're sneaky.
They're imperialists.
They are. They
That
really
too.
are. And it goes along without having a constitution.
A lot of xenophobia too. with
They
Atlanteans.
are racist as fuck.
Like,
They don't
oh,
trust
you surface
outsiders."
dwellers. Oh, you pollute the oceans all the time. Oh, what dicks. And
Wow.
it's like, what are we going to do? Pollute the land? Which we do.
Well, thanks for running through that questionnaire with me, guys.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
that
we all
was
got
good.
to know each other a little
That
bit.
was
Yeah, I
good.
feel like even
Some
a little bit more.
bonding
I mean, I feel a little terrified, a little more comfortable. But you guys have really been treating me really well these last 3 weeks, and I really appreciate it.
Well, yeah, we're ending on a high note here. We've got some muffins on the way.
Yeah,
be
what's
here
the
in no
status on
time.
those, John?
The muffins are. He's still in line. He says he's still in line.
Just
Is he at the Safeway on like Elm?
I sent him to
that's the closest one. I don't know why.
Well, I sent him to the Ralph's because they have a better bakery, the one in downtown Metropolis.
Oh yeah, that downtown one. They do have that that new like bakery thing. They're trying to rebrand it. and
It's
sort of
really nice.
better.
You know, I asked to go in the back one day. They were very friendly.
That's
well-
really weird.
I don't know
just
why he
wanna
doesn't
see-
just steal the muffins, but
But you asked to go to the back. I guess because you're such a baker and you wanted to see sort of what an industrial size.
I just wanted to see what my competition was. You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, the fire code there must be pretty flimsy if they let you in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're going to have some muffins here. We've got Stu, be sure and come back next week. We've got a big surprise for Jeff.
What?
And it's going to be a good time.
It's gonna be a great one.
Hopefully, Superman will have been murdered horribly.
Yeah, let's try to focus on
Let's
murdering Superman
kill
this week
him.
and not a Michael Torrance. Okay.
Michael,
Oh, good point. We want to make sure that all Michael Torrances stay safe out there. Be real careful about where you are, what
keep
you're
your
doing.
eyes open,
Guys,
Michael
it sounds like he's
Torrance's.
taunting you, but seriously, be safe. All right, just hunker down and just be careful.
And let's break it down for the end here. We want to make sure that you follow us at Ending Superman. Follow us on Instagram at Ending Superman's Life. Gmail, we are endingsupermanslife@gmail.com. You can email us directly. You might even get your question on the air. Our
And then
Facebook
I'm
page.
Partytime Jeff 68 on Twitter and Partytime Jeff 67 on Instagram.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks. Our Facebook page is Ending Superman's Life. Make sure to like us on Facebook.
I don't have a professional Facebook page set up, so it would be best if you just followed me on like Twitter and Instagram.
Damn it, Jeff! I just wish. Anyway, we want to give our exhortation. Let's kill Superman, right? On 3.
Right. We
Okay,
can get this.
Yeah, we got it. 1, 2, 3.
Let's kill
Kill
Superman.
Superman. Oh, come on. All right.
Was
well,
it Let's Kill Superman? I kind of blanked on what the first. I knew Superman was supposed to be the last word, but I blanked on
It's
the
fine.
beginning.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
okay. Just forget it.
Fuck you, Superman.
Hey guys, Engineer John here again. Remember, today's episode was brought to you by Lead Apron. Special thanks to Nick Robinson, Garrett Warner, and John Maynard. Our music is composed by Daniel Cloak.